Hey, Crockett.
Hello, Crockett. Hello, Catnip.
No.
Sherry, I should say. Sherry. I love the green screen. Man, I love it. It's so much fun. You got to get one little cheapy, dollar
Yes.
tablecloth. And then you can put all them pictures up there, except for you got to be a certain distance away. And I'm not quite that way today. I'm just a little bit unorganized. There we go.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
That's right. Woo woo. How you doing, amiga?
I am doing well, and yourself? What are you having? What is your libation?
I am having some gin and juice, I guess you'd say.
You would love this. This is Bombay gin. I mudded mint with it, and then it's got simple syrup and Sprite and a splash of lemonade and a lime. It's really good.
It sounds delicious. Like, can you pass it through here? Let's just cheers each other. Yeah. Here we go.
Wrong way. There we go.
All right. I can't get it up higher. Wait a minute.
Up over there. There you go. Ding.
I've had too much. Don't even know what direction you're in. Wait a minute. There you are. You're over there.
Over there. Yeah.
You're over there. Anyway, how you guys doing? I hope everybody had a nice weekend and you're all Mammothon recovered. And, I sure learned a lot during Mammothon. I really did. I met a lot of really cool supporters that I never talked to before, or, things like that. So it was really pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a great time. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Justin.
Say hi to everybody, because we're going to be talking about Troublemaker. She is. She's the one that started it, if you ask me, don't you think? Besides kitty cat.
With ma'am, it's a snowball effect. It really is. And well, I want to talk a little bit too today about the one deposition that we read with just a little bit about Alan and get some eyes out there. Alan Kolansky. Remember we read that deposition? He is.
Oh, I thought you were talking about this guy.
No.
I think. Yeah, go ahead. You just go ahead and do it.
Okay, so
you bring out what you got.
First of all, a big shout out to Eric Banana Man and Julie Wenzel for heading up the GoFundMe to get the depositions from the 2005 trial.
That's right.
1985 and the 2000 trial is where all of this began. And we got a lot of good information out of those depositions. They haven't really been touched yet. And I think Linda and I will probably look into more of those and discuss them more because people don't know what's in them. But the one thing that really stuck with me was the deposition by a no-name. His name is Alan Kolansky, and Alan was an officer in Manitowoc on the day that Penny Bernstein was brought in, and he was actually off duty that day and got called in to go to the hospital. And the thing that really sticks out with me, Linda, remember I told you he is the one that Kosarik sat in on his deposition, the only one. And Kosarik sat in on that deposition. You don't have your mic on.
No, because my dog was barking, so that's why I'm doing this. I'm definitely paying attention. It's just the dog is barking. But yeah, no, I remember now. Now I do remember reading that. And you're right. I would like to read into some of these, especially the no names. The people that you don't. I've seen some things today. I forgot to show you.
Hi, Sammy. Hi, BB and Mose. So the one thing that sticks with
God loves me.
Yes. Millbilly, hey. The one thing that with me in this guy's deposition is he, number one, is a no-name. Right. He doesn't have a dog in this race. He was just there doing his job, and he gets called in. He's actually moving to a new house because he's having issues with his wife, I believe. And he literally goes to the hospital, and there's only 2 people there. And one of them, I believe, is it's either Belky or Benz that's there, and Kocourek. And basically, he goes in there, and he's like, the sheriff's pissed off, number one, that it took him an hour or so to get there, and it's just those 2. Belky or Barks. I got to go back and look at the name, because it has been a few weeks since I've read this. But he leaves, and Kocourek's like, well, you can hang around if you want to, or you can go. And the guy decides he's going to stay. And the next thing you know is a jailer comes over with these stack of pictures about 2 inches thick, and he gives them to Kocourek, and Kocourek sticks them in his pocket. And he was, that's kind of strange for him to do that, because I guess the policy is you take out the folder, and you put them in a folder, so they're done like a screen, a lineup on paper, and that's not what was done. It was stuck in his pocket. This guy sits around, and he has just watching. He's not really doing anything, and he asks Kocourek if he wants him to go over and get the folder so it can be done right, and Kocourek tells him no. Kocourek tells him no. He doesn't want the folder so it can be done right. He doesn't want it presented in a correct platform. And they're trying to get into it, but the guy can't pinpoint if the jailer who brought it over was Dave Dvorak or not. So, I mean, he's familiar with all these people that it wasn't, but he can't say for sure that it was Dvorak that brought the pictures over. And for them to have a stack like this and just get stuck in a pocket, we don't know what's in there. We don't know if there were several pictures of Stephen. We don't know if the pictures were correct and they were similar statures. We don't know any of that. And then Cachet gets there, and Kocourek wants to go into the room, and Cachet goes, oh no, let me get my picture first. And the thing that strikes me is, number one, why isn't Kocourek doing things by the book? Why is he in charge of this instead of turning it over to a detective? Why is he going in there with a stack of photos in his pocket? There's just too much. And this guy, I guess that's the one thing that sticks out to me. Kocourek is on this guy, and he's sitting in on this deposition. And first of all, if Travis ever jumps on here, that's a question I have for him, is why the hell would Kocourek be allowed to sit in on a deposition? I have no clue why Kocourek would be allowed to sit in on one. And the second is, I understand, because we were discussing a little bit about this in Foul Play, why Vogel and Kocourek were not deposed first. I mean, why is it all right for him to sit in and basically, in my opinion,
either scare, threaten, or make sure they're saying the right thing that he told them to. Like, don't you dare slip up, buddy, because I'm here to remind you what's going to happen.
But this guy,
I'm Big Brother looking at you.
He has no monkey in this, no dog in this race. He did find things strange, but he was honest, and I think that's one of the things Kocourek was so scared about. Because from the beginning with Sandy, Miss Sandra, we don't get the truth.
Morris?
Yeah. I've heard several different stories. I haven't dug into Sandra's.
You can't even find nothing out about her now. She's disappeared.
I haven't dug into her deposition yet. She's another one that I want to get in on. But we have stories. You hear what's on Ma'am as far as what Stephen says happened. You hear what she's saying. And when you saw even on Ma'am with her deposition, oh, he was ready. Okay, my God, he was locked and loaded. Come on. In the middle of winter, dead naked.
That far away from, how far away the houses are from the street in the country. Let's get real here. They're not like right up on the curb like they are here in the city, so give it another thought there, people, if you think we're that damn stupid. She was too much into the taverns. You know what I'm saying? That broad was in the tavern spreading news all day long.
Well, that's what I want to know is why was she so pissed off at the Averys and Stephen? Why?
I don't even know.
I mean, her demeanor.
She was friends with Dvorak. She was friends with Dvorak, and Dvorak didn't like Stephen, and well, that's because of the cops. She didn't like him. You know what I mean? They form their opinions on other people's opinions. They don't form their own.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And she was married to a Manitowoc sheriff. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? It's just you got to be with the cliquey cloud. You know what? Cliquey crowd. And maybe her husband wanted to make it up in the ranks in the sheriff's department. And she figured, hey, you know what? Let's get him some things. Let's get him some business here. He can go arrest a couple perverts or whatever she came up with in her mind. You know what I mean?
Well, even her body language in that deposition. I mean, she's doing what they were saying, things like that Brendan was doing. She's leaned back in the chair. She's slouching.
Which time? Well, her best friend, Dvorak, is famous for not my verbiage. Right? Look at her best friend. Not my verbiage. I mean, come on. We got one that uses, that's not my verbiage. Well, when you just don't want to say, yeah, I said that awful shit. I'll admit to that awful shit. You know what I'm saying? They both should. I mean, she kind of did at the end, Miss Sandra here. She goes, yeah, probably plenty of them. That she was talking shit about Stephen. You know what I'm saying? But that town is too much clicky, don't you think?
Yes. I think that it's very obvious if you start digging into these depositions that Kocourek, I watched two different people in this just to try to decide which of the two I feel is more evil and is more hateful and more sinister.
I think Peterson.
Kocourek and Peterson to me.
Peterson. I think Peterson all the way.
He is.
Kocourek isn't. He's not the level Peterson is. I mean, come on. Peterson is he's despicable. Yeah.
Kocourek, he seems more like behind the scenes. Peterson
diplomatic.
Wants to get down and dirty.
Yeah, let's put a shit onto this person. Let's make, I kind of hint that person to do it. They'll do it. I think Peterson, he's a downright asshole.
Yeah.
He don't give a shit. You just see him, you can see him even in not even let alone read his words once and see how nice he is, and how he's sitting in there and watching all these things. I just don't get it. Too much.
So Crockett says Sandra Morris was rejected by her cousin Stephen when she was 6 years old. That's where it stems from.
Oh, he's laughing. Kocourek trained Peterson. Exactly, J-Jax. I totally agree. Peterson was 10 times worse. He was out there. He had no problem. He's like, well, I don't want to say who, but somebody that should watch what comes out their mouth. A leader. Somebody with power should watch what comes out their mouth, okay? Well, he was one of them that should have watched what came out his damn mouth, okay? Because it was influential towards a lot of people, I mean, let's face it. You want to please the boss. You want to make it up in ranks. You got to stay with the click.
He definitely is, for him and Couché both to get up there and say that, they're not for sure that Stephen was proved innocent.
Yeah, where'd the DNA come? Where'd that hair come from? Boy, I got some I put some videos up that 64 controller had up. Mm-hmm. Go over to his channel. He's got a lot of really good stuff there, especially when you're looking into other, past things. Well, he's got, parts of their depositions up there. You know what I'm saying? So, I was watching Mr. Pencil, Mr. Good Old Pencil there saying, well, where'd that hair come from? Come on, y'all know where'd that hair come from? We don't know, I mean,
and then he gets up there and says, well, DNA has been faked before.
Right. And I put the link down in there too. So you can click.
It's your crime lab, and you're saying that DNA tests have been fabricated. And then what happens? we get tests that seem like they're probably fabricated again.
Mm-hmm.
You have
That's
Peter
what I mean.
stand and say that it hasn't been proven to him that Stephen was innocent in the first case.
Right. Peterson, when I even see him, in my head when I'm watching Ma'am, even he's looking in the courtroom. You know what I'm saying? A little short, stubby penguin looking dude. You know what I mean? He's something.
I just couldn't imagine being married to either one of them. I really couldn't.
No, there would be something wrong there. I would have to hurt them.
Really, people need to start reading the depositions because they're very telling.
Yeah,
even
they
with
really are.
Amy Lehman, it's another one that I've read. If you go from this deputies to Amy Lehman's, you can, even in reading, you're not doing the body language, which I wish we could get the body language, the DVDs. I would love to get those. But even with the way that they're wording things, it didn't even seem like she really cared that much when she did her investigation. Because she's getting asked, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? And she's like, well, no. What the heck? People don't realize things that are going on here. Deb Strauss, Amy Lehman, and Kathy Williford are all former narcotics agents for the DOJ. Is it DCI? DCI at the same time.
Yep.
Same time period.
Exactly. There's what's so funny is that when you look at some of the stuff, you don't even see that they're agents. You know what I'm saying?
No. If you get into the depositions and they start telling, Deb Strauss starts telling, here's where she's worked at, and Amy Lehman's like, here's where I've worked at, and the dates are in there. I don't think they expected us to care enough to get into this stuff and start reading it. I really don't. But
no, you're probably right.
And I understand.
I got that. Go ahead.
I understand, Jay Jax had said earlier, you want to get as much information as you can on Kocourek and Vogel before you put them under the light. But how Jody and Stephen sat in on most of the depositions. I think Stephen was in almost all of them. But how the hell do you let somebody who's being deposed, is that legal? I need to know that. Is that legal for Kocourek to have sat in on that?
I don't know, but I got one of those. The one that I think is the most funny, honestly, really, is this guy here, Royer, or whatever his name is. Royer. Yeah, let's see this guy here. Let's watch this. Here we go. Let me whoop. Wait, I ain't got his volume up. Wait. Let me turn it all the way up so you can hear it. Okay.
Oh, I don't
Can
hear
you see it?
I can see it. I don't hear it.
Damn.
He looks like a dweeb.
You hear it now?
No.
Oh.
But I'm back. I don't know if they can hear it. They all look nervous. And
well, he looks like he's gonna just, you know what I mean? He's gonna crap his pants. Oh, I know what this is about. I've always thought that guy right there and Mr. Pencil were the most telling. But as you read, even like what you were saying, you got to read them because there's so many more that are in there, like that are saying things, and you're like, oh, no wonder why they wanted to stop this. You know what I mean? Because it don't look good. I read Room Media. Nice to see you.
Andy Colburn's, I've read his too so far, and Andy's. It's while it wasn't overly incriminating to him, it still showed that there were issues that they knew. He played it off as I'm a jailer, and because I'm a jailer, I don't, I didn't have to do reports because I was a jailer. And he played it off like he didn't know who they were inferring to. But Amy Lehman was like, they're asking her questions. Well, did you follow up on this? And she's like, well, no, I didn't take it any farther. And when they were asking her, how do you feel about this? She really played it off like it was no big deal. And if you've read Peggy, I can't even
Bernstein,
Logenschlager.
Oh, Logenstein.
I can't pronounce her name. I butcher everybody's name, and it's not on.
So do I. I totally do. So
if you read her report as I started, oh my God, it scared me.
Wow.
It's like a bad flashback from the 60s. If you go in and read her report, that was, I think, the first thing I read was her report. It was kind of ridiculous. Basically, she took no accountability for anybody who was underneath her. And whoa.
Go ahead, Doc.
I don't know. To me, it was like pass the buck. It was, and if you go through and you read the reports for Gary Allen, I can't look at myself like that. That's just like awful.
Why? You look fine.
If you go through and read the reports on Gary Allen and where he was and what he had done, I mean, he climbs in a window of a teenage girl's bedroom and holds a knife to her throat, and oral acts are going on, and these officers are following him, and he's running through yards, and his motorcycle's sitting out there, and they let all this stuff happen. And then the girl, after she's had a knife held to her throat, has to walk to the back door and let him out the back door. This is the kind of stuff that was going on, and they're pinning it on Stephen. And this is after Penny's done. It's just utterly ridiculous. It makes me angry. Being a woman, it makes me very, very angry. Look at her. It pisses me off because I'm paying tax dollars to be made to feel safe. And you've got rapists running around the streets, and because somebody looked at you cockeyed or did something that, one of your family members didn't like, then you're just going to go after them and attack them. And you don't really give a flying frickety frick about my safety. You've got no speaker on. She does that to me. I'm just going to start singing or something to entertain that because I'm running out of stuff here. You have no sound on. You're muted.
I can't help it. I'm laughing my ass off because I had Nancy Grace posted up next to you.
Are you like cahoots? What the hell?
I just had to do it. Sorry. It was just a joke. It was like, isn't this April Fool's Day?
No, it's Cinco de Mayo. Have another drink.
Oh, well then maybe I've had too many. Oh well.
So if you guys, all of you guys that are out there, which depositions are you most
right? What ones do you want to hear?
Yeah, which ones? And guess what, Linda? I talked to our one and only Foul Play Big Jeff.
Yeah.
And he is actually going to read some depositions, and he said he would come on with us.
Okay, well, as long as they're not the ones we got through,
No.
We can't. Okay, because we can't do that. That's I will respect that. But yeah, that'd be great.
We're not going to be
reading them or showing them. We're discussing them.
We're going to discuss what these people said, how what their demeanors were, what we got out of them.
Yeah, great idea.
Yeah, and Jeff was like all for it. He said yes, he'd love to come and join you, Linda.
Because let's put them ding dongs back to
Well, I just my opinion, men have a different perspective than women do.
Yeah.
Men tend to see things in black and white, and women are like 0 to 90 in 6.2 seconds.
Oh, we think of everything every which way you can
Yeah.
possibly think of it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah. So I just, I mean, this is a collective thing that's went on for a very long time. For some reason, they've done this for a very, very long time. You know what I mean? And, I suggest everybody dig in themselves too. I see Catnip put that up there, but that's where I was getting any of the information. I put the links down to go to Foul Play site, and they got in their library the 1985 case files, and that's where I got them. And then the old depositions that were read out, some of them that were 64 controller has them, so you can check them out there and read the banner, guys, because that's important.
Have a couple of drinks in you, because he's saying that guys are super cool.
Guys can be super cool. Yes, they can.
I think
Bogle. Yeah, he didn't do his.
Yeah, Fallon was not. Unfortunately, Fallon was not part of the depositions.
Right. He should have been, I think.
Yeah, well, we have Alan Kalensky, which is the one we just did, Amy Lehman, Andy Colburn, Beverly Becker. Oh, I did read Brenda Peterson too. Brenda Peterson is actually the sister-in-law to Peterson, I believe. I can't remember her. She was actually working for the Crime Victims Unit. So hers is kind of interesting too. And her being a relative of Peterson is quite interesting. We have Dave Dvorak. We have David Hartman. We have Deborah Strauss. We have Don Beltz, Eugene Kashik.
Yep, he's so. I mean, when he sits there and says, where did the DNA come from? He is admitting that they will fabricate DNA. That's, read between the lines. I do. I mean, that's maybe a woman way of thinking. You've got to read between them lines. And he is saying, hey, we fabricate DNA because where'd that one come from? I want to know, because I know where I've done it,
Well,
just like drawing the picture.
If I was Dvorak, I'd be getting pretty pissed off, because she's the one who would have been folding up the sheets from that exam at the hospital and putting it into evidence. Did she do it?
Like I said, it's all speculation. I just know one thing. The two that they said did it had nothing to do with it. Okay?
Yeah.
Nothing. And you have to be deaf, dumb, blind, running on a brain cell that's been drunk for 3,000 years in order to not see this. So I don't understand why Wisconsin authorities, the judges, how can they even pursue it? How can they even continue to pursue it? Honestly, the prosecutor. What?
We're corrected. Thomas Fallon was deposed, so we need.
Mr. Sabbatical himself, run away with your tail in between your legs. Hello, Eric Cozy. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. I don't get it.
So we've got Verlin Kelmit, William Beck, Thomas Fallon, Stephen Tinker, Sandra Morris.
I've heard
Roger.
If that's family, I don't know how you do that to family. It just doesn't.
Roger Meinscher, Ramon Marcel, Perry Kingsbury, Monica Burke, Michael Grisbach, Mark Rohr.
Michael Grisbach, let's get him. You know what? He's such a hero. And then he turned out to be a dirty dog anyway. Take credit for things you didn't do. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm kind of finding
a bitch. Yeah, she does look like a bitch.
These no names are actually.
Yeah, I wonder who they are. I mean, are they just people that let's put it this way. Are they just people for the people? Are they people for the lying, educational officers, the liars? You know what I mean? The little group pad they got there. Is it for them, or are they worth reading? Are they people that they maybe should have paid attention to and they didn't? You know what I mean? Like, people come forward and say, hey, I seen Teresa's car on a turnabout that's not even clear, not even anywhere near them, and nobody checks it out. You know, what's the matter with that shit? Somebody's knocking at your door at 11 o'clock at night screaming for help. They're lost and you don't report that and it don't get taken care of. What's the matter with that? I know what's the matter with it. It didn't fit into what they were doing.
Hi, Barb. Thank you for stopping. Sandra's a bitch. Barb is watching, actually.
Yeah. Griesbach, such an idiot, little intelligent. He responded to me on Twitter a while back. Yeah, he was my Twitter whatever too. I just keep your enemies close, but far enough where you don't get bit. You know what I'm saying?
I just think that we need to start looking at these more. We need to start looking at these more because my gut feeling, and I don't know about you, Linda, but my gut feeling is there's a lot that's telling in these depositions, and they knew that Stephen had them, for lack of a better word, balls to the wall, and that their hierarchy was going to come crashing down at some point.
Yep.
And I think that, Barb, we want to just get this out here. We haven't seen a lot of these depositions being talked about. And I think that these people who are what we would consider, because we're not from that community, as no names, probably have a lot.
Somebody.
Yeah, these depositions probably have a lot of information in them that are going to shed more light as to why these guys felt like they had to go to this extreme to stop Stephen and to stop your family. When in all actuality, they're not even stopping Stephen and their family. They're just being
evil kings of five.
Yeah.
They're evil kings of five.
And
terrible.
I mean, you sit there, if you read some of these depositions, and I encourage anybody who has the time to do it, pick them up and just, read one at a time. Because the way that the defense attorneys are going at Stephen, Glenn and oh gosh, I just drew a blank. Glenn and who's the other attorney, Linda? Oh my God, brain fart. Glenn, who was Stephen's other attorney?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stephen's attorneys in the civil case.
Oh, Glenn and oh great! Now put me in the spot.
Blank too. Oh my God,
Stephen,
Kelly.
Glenn, and
Kelly. J-Jack said Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, Kelly. Yeah, not Kelly. Kelly. We don't talk about.
Yeah, they're petty. There's so much information in these.
I don't care. Roy looked like he wanted to turn over in his grave. I mean, Andy Colburn was doing this and being all nervous and couldn't remember. And the lady was talking, that's not in my verbiage. And Sandra Moore says, I might have been all over the town talking. Like it's nothing. Like you don't give a shit that you're trashing somebody's life with a bunch of lies. I mean, why aren't they accountable for that shit? Why? Because somebody put a stop to it before the two people that were going to be probably should have been done first. You know what I mean? And then they didn't even finish through with it. They should have continued with it. Just because he was arrested did not mean they had to stop.
No.
But the attorneys seeing what they were, this could be bad. Well, I could see, I guess, if it was true that it would hurt his case, maybe, if he was involved, you know what I mean? That it might hurt that case. But it might not have neither. You know what I mean? They might have said, hey, wait a minute. This is kind of weird. This guy's out and he's suing you guys. And then now all of a sudden he's in and this is the kind of evidence you have. You know what I mean? They could have looked at it that way.
Let's see. What is Eric Cozy saying there, Linda?
I don't know. I talked to you. I agree. They would have interesting info. The look on, Roar's face. I don't know how to say his name. I butcher names. And then they told him the info about Colburn trying to call in 96. It was sent along to the AG's office. Yeah. He looked like you're right, Rhonda. He did look like he wanted to puke. He was scared. He looked like, oh my God, I'm the kid that took the candy and I'm going to get my ass beat. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. When you've got people sitting there saying how, Korsoric comes over to the DA's office and has a meeting in regards to Stephen's case, which is something that's not normally done. And, he wants this case to stick.
Peterson, or Tracy Bowman says, Peterson said he arrested him for attempted murder and not rape at first. What's his name? Kokora, yeah, told him to. Wow, I didn't know that. That's some stuff I didn't know. Understand your point. Mm-hmm. Send the link if you want.
There is so much that.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I didn't know that. Hey, wait a minute. I didn't know that.
What?
Here you go. I didn't know he was a monitor. Sorry, Eric Cozy, you got your lunch. I don't know what the hell happened. Maybe when I was cleaning it out the other day, I just accidentally put you off. I did take a couple of people off, but I didn't mean to do you, so you should have your wrench. I don't know. You know, I don't take people's wrenches away because when they get them, they deserve them. They deserve them.
The depositions, and I'm glad that we could start talking about these because we got them and nobody's really done anything with them. I know that Millbilly, he had a few guys on and they were starting to look at them, and then they were blessed with getting Travis to come on with them, and the conversation got more into questions. But these really do need to be looked at.
Well, yeah, we can do it. Have them do it. We'll read this week, and we'll come back next week, and whatever one you're more interested in, maybe we'll do one of the small ones and somebody big, or because if they're really big, we'll have to do it probably in like 2 times. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, this has only been half an hour, but we could go for hours. I just know we could once we get going. This is just like, yeah. I just. I think it's worth it too. And you got that Martinez guy thing too. You're really hung up on him. So why don't you bring him on and talk about it? Because I don't really know about it. I don't know, but maybe he's
over to I've given my record of Martinez to Big Jeff and
okay. Oh, okay. Yeah,
so I'm going to see if those guys would actually maybe come on with us, Linda, and on my channel, and then we'll share it on yours, because I'm definitely going to share this one on my channel. But because I want to see a girl's view, because you and I tend to pick out details that guys.
Oh, you do way more than me, but yeah. But guys are fixers and women are what made it do that. Let's psychology break this down. Do you see that cookie? It's just not a cookie. It's got sugar and eggs. Right. And the guy goes, "Give me it. I want to eat."
Right. But even with Martinez, I have a huge issue with the reports that are in Stephen's case versus his actual case itself. We haven't turned it out to the public yet, and that's one of the reasons we haven't. We will be releasing that in a FOIA to everybody, but we have Andre Martinez's arrest record. And some of the information in there, it gets you thinking. There's things that you read in there that it's just like, why didn't they look into Martinez more? They were scared enough of Martinez that they locked down the hospital and her place of work.
I'll tell you why they didn't, because it probably pointed somewhere else.
Well,
I mean, every time somebody says that, I say, because it didn't fit their narrative. It didn't go in the right direction. So the dogs went this way, but they didn't want to follow it. They want to put the dogs where the dogs didn't need to be. You know what I mean? Just like, oh, nothing happened on Cuss Road. Nothing happened. Okay, why you spend that much time over there? Why you got an ambulance, all this other? You explain that shit, because that shit don't make no sense to me, okay? You explain why you got search dogs and stuff and extra parties going this way and that way when they ain't nowhere near the Averys. And why do you got the Avery's house for 8 days? Why can't they come on their property? I've never been at a search warrant where you can't live on your damn property when they're got a search warrant. You can still live there. They never said you had to leave, and yet they scared them off of there for that shit. This does not stick good with me. None of this shit does. And none of them guys should be able to work anymore, and they should all be put in jail. But we do know that that's not going to happen, because Wisconsin protects their law enforcement more than they protect their citizens, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? It just kills me.
Exactly. You've got Martinez. I mean, Earl puts Martinez on the property on the 5th. Mm-hmm. If you look at Stephen's report in CASO, Andre said, you know, they said, oh no, he was never hardly ever out there at all.
He was there that day.
Wait, they say he was never out there at all. Very little, maybe a couple of times that he was out there. And then there's a newspaper article where Earl says that he was there 3 hours before he axed his girlfriend. Well, guess what? When you get into this and we start talking about it, his own son put him right on the property on the 5th. Yeah. It really makes me angry that
I know you're just really pissed off about what's his name sitting in on those depositions. You want to know why he was there. And you know what? I wish we could ask him.
It makes me mad that nobody stood up. Nobody above Stephen. Okay, he had a relationship with this senator or representative. Nobody stood up for Stephen.
Yeah, he just dropped him like a hot potato. What the hell?
You know what? We need to take a closer look because it already happened once. So we need to take a closer look, and we need to make sure that this doesn't happen to him and his family again. And nobody did that.
And that is something I say too. I say, why couldn't they put it in their head? Hey, something's not right here. Why would this guy why would he commit this kind of crime when he has money coming to him and is with his parents and he's finally home with his family? And this makes no sense. And then when you try to look at it, it doesn't make any sense at all. And then you find out he doesn't even know what they're talking about. I mean, he's like shocked when he's hearing about all this stuff. You know what I mean? You can tell it's genuine. You know what I mean? It's not like somebody play acting. It has nothing, you know, and the depth of what they do to do it is really becoming known to me. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, they don't check out that guy should have been a red flag. You know what I mean? A really red flag. So should a couple other people like the German, you know, I mean, these people should have been red flags for suspects. How about Ryan? I'm so sorry. Ryan is the biggest red flag ever in life. And Fassbender names Killigus. Okay, well, that fits. That fits really well. Killigus. Yes, you did, asshole. And I really do believe he's guilty. And if he isn't, then it's somebody random, like maybe the guy you're talking about, or that German guy that just, you know, up and left. But the thing is, their killer is out there.
Bradley Check, which makes me nervous. Bradley Check has an album on his Facebook that is pictures of Teresa.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not joking. It's still
up. That shit. I want to see that. You got to link me up on that. Oh, that's crazy.
It's open, and he still has a photo album of Teresa at pictures on Facebook. I'm not.
That is nuts.
That's to me. That's
Steve Moore, the FBI agent, says that kids are running the show in Wisconsin. Yeah, well, they certainly don't run it the way a man with integrity and knows what what's up does, because Stephen Moore's got integrity. He tells it like it is. He said Fassy. He said the only thing they got right with Brendan was his name. The rest was all bullshit. And he was like, you don't like Fassy. Good old Fassy. He called him. I started laughing.
You gotta literally at some point you have to say it's not just the police department's fault, because Stephen had interactions. Him and Penny had interactions with
for him. You know, I mean, they really should have, because I mean, they seen that they were done wrong by the cops the first time when there wasn't but that phone call wasn't important. It was somebody's freedom, you damn shit asshole. You know what I mean?
And they did not take 5 minutes to say, okay, there's a legal case going on here. We know that they have an issue with Stephen. They have an even bigger issue with Stephen now, because he's already proved that they've done this.
Yeah. Well, okay. First thing.
Said, we're going to do what we have to do. We've got this law. We're going to do what we have to do to make sure that this is a legitimate investigation and that there's no funny business this time. But nobody did that. Nobody stood up for Stephen. Nobody stood up for Brendan and said, hey.
Don't you think that they should have had a first clue when they couldn't see their client, when they were being held from their client? Oh, nobody knows where he is. We're not telling you where he is. And these are lawyers who have a right to. They put him in solitary confinement, suicide crap. What is that? What is that? That's wrong. They should have seen that. They did it the first time they kept him off the log. So his first lawyer in 85 couldn't see it. And then this one too, they keep him, the lawyers from seeing him, and they don't think nothing's wrong. There's not, wait a minute. Lightning doesn't strike 5,000 times. Poor Stephen Avery isn't the luckiest guy in the world, okay? That he's going to be struck by lightning, or the most unlucky. This is too set up looking. And they let it flow through. And the one that did is Kratz. He has the right to say, this is not enough evidence. I don't think this is correct. You know what I'm saying? He's the one that's supposed to say, nope, I don't think we should go through with this because this is shady. Well, let's forget about the key being planted. Who cares? That's just one item. That's just one big deal. Who cares?
Ken Kratz saw this as an opportunity to make a name for himself by
he's a dumb one. He's the dumb one. Stephen was a smart one. He wasn't going to get in trouble. Okay. Kratz, when he was high on fame, goes and gets in trouble by popping pills and sexting people. Now that's how you break yourself down. Now that's a dumb criminal. Okay. What do you don't even learn, dude? You know what I'm saying? You ain't even smart enough to do it the right way. Like never. You got everything going your way. I don't think anybody, especially somebody who's a simple, humble person who just lives their life like their family did. They're just like me. They're just like you. They're just like everybody else. And their world gets turned upside down, you know, because some high hootin' flutin' motherfuckers don't want to take the responsibility for the shit that they did wrong. You know, I mean, come on. It's just, there's such lack of credibility, of accountability, and they allow them to get away with it. Wisconsin allows them to get away with it.
I saw one comment up here, and it was, and I really agreed with it. Who was it? Let me go back here. Crockett. He said, Crockett said, yes, one strand. Bradley, why did they give him a free pass? He was in a relationship with Teresa, wasn't he? Yes. In fact, he and Nicole Sanger were having three-way conversations on the phone frequently. And Nicole Sanger was supposed to meet Bradley Check and Teresa 2 weeks before Teresa's disappearance for lunch, and Nicole wasn't able to make it. There's a lot of pictures, and we've kind of figured that out now. There's a picture that floats around, 3 or 4 of them, with Teresa and Bradley and 2 other women. And we thought that one of them supposedly name is Rachel, and the other one is Nikki. And we kind of thought, some of the ladies and I thought it was Nicole, Pam of God Jr. We thought it was her, but actually it was this, we're believing now it's that Nicole Sanger. And it's like it's Brad with 3 other women, and it kind of appears like it's at Teresa's home or the apartment in Monroe. I mean, we don't even know about stuff like that. We don't know how long Teresa's lease was. Did she still have that apartment in Green Bay? There's things that we don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
Teresa had 2 separate lives. She had one set of friends that was, this way, and one set that was that way. There was no complete victimology here done at all.
Yeah. I don't know, Justin, but that's a good question. What kind of fear is near and around the community to stand up to Ellie? I don't know, but I'll tell you what, they've got to be pretty powerful to have people, doing things that just, I mean, they're going to look at what they do in front of people's face. Imagine what they stay behind the doors where nobody can hear them. You know what I'm saying? If they're able to do this crap in front of their face, imagine what they do behind I don't want to know that kind of pressure. I feel bad for him. And Barb Allen says Martinez told her in Green Bay that Brendan was innocent.
Yes.
That tells you something too.
That's another thing we cannot get off of Queso. We cannot get Andre Martinez's interview. Now, Going through this, we're going to point out stuff where there's inconsistencies in Queso versus Andre's police report. There are inconsistencies. I don't believe the witnesses that gave Martinez an alibi. I don't. There's too much in his own report that says otherwise to me. There's something there. There really is. And you have Grisbach or Fassbender and Wiegert go up there to see Andre at Green Bay. And initially in Queso, it says he was only up there a couple times. When he's talking to them in Green Bay, he's saying, "Oh no, I was up there all the time. I was over there all the time." There's something there. There is something there. That's why KK has went out of his way to uphold the actions and not only lost his job, but because he thought it was part of a team.
They would stick up for him.
For Ken Kratz, he saw this as, in my opinion, he saw this as an option to, in the legal community, come off like, I am going to save the day. I am going to put this guy behind bars. I'm going to put a kibosh to the lawsuit, and I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to be the hero. And then they're going to promote me. And he probably thought he was going to become a judge. He probably thought he was going to, be in the DOJ. Unfortunately for him, he had his own demons, and his demons came to light. And I think there's probably more demons in his closet that none of us know about. I honestly do.
Trouble. So I didn't see what JJX said.
Trouble dating back.
I'm sure it's there. We go. Why do you feel like Kratz had troubles that we never heard about? Well, why do I think that? Because I think he's got a lot of things going on in his closets he don't want nobody to know about, for sure. He's a creepy old. Let's make me sick talking about that guy, for sure. He just doesn't. We
don't know about. I mean, if you think about it, what do we know about Kratz? We know he's got a prize.
He's a special.
He's got a prize. They're both very derogatory and demeaning to citizens. Anybody that opposes them.
Yep. He's not standing. He didn't take an oath to stand for justice.
He preps his witnesses.
Oh, he grooms them. I know who I talk to my witnesses before they go on stand. You probably threaten them. You probably tell them a whole bunch of bullshit that's not true, and that's how you get them to do what
he tells them what works.
He does this kind of shit.
They spit it out because I think
Alice
uses his power to manipulate. I think he uses his power to
he's a narcissistic pig.
I think if it didn't just start in
no, he's grown up that way.
Start in these victims things. I think there's probably more back there behind it. I don't think that he became this kind of a person overnight. He definitely has not changed. So I think it's something that's ongoing, and I think that there's probably more reports, and people may have just been afraid to speak up.
Okay, well, let's find out who they want us to read. Let's get the first 3, and we'll just.
So we saw Fallon on there.
He's just a lot, though, isn't it? He's got 180 some pages or some shit. I don't remember. Or is that Mr. Pencil?
Fallon is a good one. I think probably Deb Strauss and Amy Lehman are good ones too, because
the nasty girls.
Yeah. I don't know how the heck. And for me, for Deb Strauss is another one who she just got deposed, and she's jumping into an investigation.
And she's wasn't even properly trained, from what I understand. One of them wasn't. One of them wasn't even had never done something like that before. I better be quiet before I say something that's not true, but I'm pretty sure it was her, somebody that was right around her in that case. There was a woman that was not properly trained to be doing what she was doing. So, Amy.
Oh my God. Eric Hosey said that Kratz was about to run for Congress when his sexting came out.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine the citizens of Wisconsin then? Oh, poor people. Move to Minnesota. Oh, come on over here.
It's disgusting. You know, Linda, I'm kind of getting excited because, you know, we're into May.
Amy Lehman.
We are May 5th. So that means, according to what's on the Wicca site, we are only 24 days away from the response.
It's supposed to be the 8th.
And if there's anybody in Wisconsin who can let us know, maybe Barb knows, are they starting to open things up so
they are online. They are doing something. I guess there's because Nan's Life put it up today that they are opening up, like they did some driving things and they did some other things, but I guess they're starting to open up and make court dates. So hi TTM fangirl.
So let's band together here.
And they say Amy Lehman.
Amy Lehman. Amy.
3 of them for Amy Lehman.
Amy, I've read Amy, so Linda I'll brush up on that one. Deb Strauss, I think I want to read her too. Because I want to see, because basically
let's do both the dirty bitches at the same time. What the hell?
Well, I can that, at least with what I can see in Amy's a little bit, she tends to defer like, oh, well, you know, Deb may have done that part. Deb may have done that part. Yeah. It's almost like, well, you know, Deb was over looking at that part. So I really didn't look into it. It's past the buck. It really is.
They did a lot of passing the buck and flipping the script and making it up as they went along. They were like little kids making up a game. You know what I mean? Except for they were dealing with people's lives. And that's what makes it so rotten. So as we always say, go and seek the truth. All right. Do what you got to do. You know, everything you do as supporters I think is wonderful. I love you all. I really, really do.
Maybe Linda, maybe we should do 2 against 2. So maybe maybe we should grab maybe JJ.
You better write this down because
I got it. Maybe we should grab like either J-Jax. Moses trying to shy away from me. He doesn't want to get on, but I think maybe we should grab Jeff and J-Jax and they can give the guys' side of it and we can give the girls' side of it on those.
That'd be a good panel.
I think that would be a great panel.
What do
you say, J-Jax? Are you willing to come on and tear apart?
He won't. He'll be, you know, he'll be the Manitowoc Water Tower, but he's.
That's okay with us. That's okay with us. I think
we accept people's anonymity. I'm having as much trouble with that word as Paul was having with municipality. Municipality, he was saying. It was funny.
Yeah. I'm really excited to be digging into these.
Sounds good. You do it.
Awesome. And you know, I think I'm really excited, Linda, because
I am too. I always get excited when we do something new and different. You know
that.
I are
behind the scenes, so we're getting to see the community starting to come back together, and it's really exciting to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I'm blessed to get to meet some great people that you've known for, you know, a couple of years here. And I'm excited to learn from all of them. And I don't know, maybe light a little fire under.
I learn every day. You know, I learn something new every day. I tell you, I love it. This community is great. And as Foul Play says, team, it's together.
Yes.
Everyone achieves more.
Yes.
Very true. I have the links down there for their website, which is fantastic. Make sure you check it out. It has everything you need to know about the case. It has all the YouTubers on there and what they're about, because we're all different. Me, I'm just about the supporters and the researchers, and I'm not one to read facts, but I certainly will talk shit about them right here on Tuesday. And I'm starting a new venture. As you can see, my banner's been running all through the show. It's Positively Brendan with Becca Nash, who is one of she loves Brendan and she knows my passion for Brendan. And this is all positive. It's just, we're going to talk about things that we can do for Brendan, how we can write to the, you know, if you need to know how to write a letter to the governor, the the petition for the Taddock law. There's just the website, how you can, draw a picture, do something for Brendan. Let's do something positive for Brendan, because he's our innocent hero.
Yes.
He really is.
Yes.
He is
well, we were sitting there
kind
talking.
of like,
I'm excited because, well, we were teasing Millbilly, and I told him, I said, when they get their cases back, I said, Millbilly's in Wisconsin. I said, if we can't get in the courtroom, we're all just heading over to Millbilly's house, and we're going to watch it on, on the TV screen.
I can get there. They're only 4 hours away from me. I've been there twice. I mean, because I went up for the Eagle Nation thing too. And I know some people, and, I will be there.
Imagine if all of us, if they televise it, number one. Number two, if we all headed there and rented out a hotel and they just sat there in their conference room watching this, we were
kind of like rally.
I mean, I don't like to go to Illinois and Wisconsin anymore. Y'all know that. I moved south and that's where I want to stay. But I would do it for that. I one day I will meet, by God's grace, I will meet Alan Avery, because I think that man, I think that man is a bomb. Is the bomb, and I want to meet.
We're just people like us. Everybody next door,
Barb, and I just want to hug that woman. I just want to hug that woman as tight as I can.
Talk about that. I already did.
You're very blessed.
One of the highlights of my rally. It meant
just make sure that I don't get arrested for walking down the street drunk. Because
my little partner Wanda, she was like, I'll punch a cop for $1, and then she said, I'll do it for free. Oh, Barb said she can't wait to meet you.
Oh,
yep. Me, I was a crying fool, but you know what I mean. But I stand strong, so you know what I mean.
I can't wait. Yeah. I'm blessed with the people that I have come in contact with, and I can't wait, Barb. I really can't. Linda was already. I wasn't going to come up this year, and Linda had me all set until they canceled to come up and stay with her. So I was really excited about that.
We'll do something from here. We'll do whatever it takes. It doesn't matter. There's nothing we won't do to put the word out and to let them know that we ain't going to stand for this, and we ain't going to let them people get away with this shit, because it is not right. You know what I mean? So let's say our good nights. Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming. Please join me,
everyone.
Please join me on Friday with Becca. I cannot wait. I love Becca. She's just such an inspiration. And for our hero, Brendan. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And next Tuesday, we're going to do who? Amy and
Deb and Amy, and maybe we'll even sneak Andy's in there. It's not very long.
Mr. Eyebrows. They're going to jump off his face. That's for sure. J Jax will join us, and hopefully Big Jeff. Bye, guys. As always, love you very much. Be all you can be, but be kind with others in mind.
Stand for the truth, y'all. Love you.